Oh, you have a Merry Christmas, all right? Hey, what's up? Oh, sorry, what's this? I was just busy being the greatest Santa in America. Lucky for me, there's no way for you to prove whether or not that's actually true, so. It's not like there's some kind of competition that I could compete in, some kind of reality show that I could go to and see if I'm actually the best Santa. Why would they not invite me? Hey guys, welcome. It's the holiday season, so we're gonna get festive today. Also, this is too hot to wear the whole time. Like, I can't get it off. It's Christmas time, so I was looking around for some type of, like festive reality TV show, just because I wanted to watch something fun and jolly. And I found a show from True TV titled Santa's in the Barn. Santa's in the Barn is an 8-episode reality competition show to find who the greatest Santa in America is. It's structured a lot like Survivor in the sense that they compete in challenges to win immunity during an elimination vote. Except instead of crawling through mud, they try to balance presents on a sleigh. And instead of writing their vote for elimination on a piece of paper, they write icing on a cookie. And instead of Jeff Probst, it's John Gabrus. John Gabrus. It's like the little baby Christmas version of Survivor. The title of America's Greatest Santa isn't the only thing they're competing for, though. The Santas are also competing for $100,000 and a donation to a charity of their choice. But hey, $100,000! As soon as the show begins to introduce the contestants, there's a pretty clear divide between the Santas. Paul, Carl, Dee, and Lauren are all traditional bearded Santas, while the other 6 contestants are all young people with little to no Santa experience. Santa Steve, Joy, Amber, these are all people that have only suited up in the red and white for family. There's this guy, Tommy, who isn't even trying to be Santa. He showed up on the first day dressed as an elf. During his interviews, they even have his name listed as Tommy the Elf. Dude isn't even trying to be Santa. It's like if they had a Nintendo character competition and the contestants were Mario, Luigi, and Master Chief. Before they can get going with the competition, every Santa must recite the Santa-cratic Oath.
A Santa must be jolly.
A Santa must be jolly, with Christmas spirit night and day, reliable through snow or rain, on time and on the sleigh, always crafty and kid approved, that's the Santa way.
There's a little red fluff like everywhere. It's on my sleeve here. I think it's coming off of me, so I mean, there's nothing I can do. After reciting the Santa-cratic Oath, they got split into 2 teams so they could compete in the first challenge. When I first saw the intro to the show, I was like,
there's no way that one of the young Santas could actually win the competition. I mean, it's always going to go to a bearded, traditional Santa.
But then they introduced Santa John.
You guys ever throw a ball before? Let's go.
I am a very competitive person. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to win this competition.
I am a Little League coach, so I'm used to leading a team.
Don't worry about it. Walk around them. Let's go.
Santa John is coming into this competition with a lot of confidence, and that is what you need in a competition. The teams were tasked with stacking gifts as high as they could into a sleigh and then dragging it across the field to test how sturdy it is. And both teams sucked. Like, they couldn't get anything going no matter what they tried. But that's fine because every episode has 2 challenges. The one that doesn't really matter, and then the Santa Snowdown. As they're getting ready for their Santa Snowdown, a new factor is introduced into the mix. Much like Survivor's Immunity Idol, Santa's in the Barn has the Christmas Miracle. If used right before a vote, you will be immune from elimination. So if you lose a challenge, guess what? You can still get immunity. There's quite a few other items, one of them being the Christmas pudding, where if you use it right before an elimination, you can put someone else who has immunity up for elimination. The way that these items were dispersed was through random gifts. Every contestant got a present that they opened, and some of them got items and some of them got nothing, like Santa Paul who got a lump of coal. The second challenge is an obstacle course, which turns out to be very physical. Steve the firefighter does great, but the older Santas take a beating. All the while, Santa John is coaching his team. Much like the first challenge, this one didn't really go well for either team, but Santa John and the red team did win, which placed every member of the green team up for elimination. But lucky for them, no one on the green team was going to be eliminated tonight. While the rest of the contestants were spending time to get to know each other and share stories of being Santa, Santa John was on a mission.
I'm willing to take you to the end if you just listen.
John is already in competition mode, but this is a Santa competition.
Are you willing to form an alliance?
You know, I don't know. I mean, what's the alliance useful for at this point?
John was trying to create an alliance to methodically eliminate people until the final few contestants remained. And no one wanted to. While John was scheming and plotting, everyone else was becoming friends. My favorite part about this is how when people didn't immediately bite the hook, he tried to hold like his group meeting to have everybody gather so we can kind of, you know, see what's going on. And he basically just said, why aren't you joining me? Don't you see that this is like the better way to do things?
Did you notice every time we talk about eliminations, the volume comes way down?
But the reality is, it's a game.
Santa John explained to all of us that this wasn't about being Santa. This was a competition.
For him, though, it's fine. He could just kind of delay this a little bit. It's not like he's up for elimination this week.
Christmas pudding. I would like to put John up for elimination.
John? My blood's boiling right now.
In the first elimination, they made it clear that if you weren't going to be Santa, if you weren't going to follow the Santa-cratic oath, then you were going to be eliminated.
It's a game, and we're all here for that.
Remember the oath we took? Who remembers the oath we took, right?
The Santa-cratic oath.
The final person should be all of that.
One of the most important factors of the Santa-cratic oath is being kid-approved, which is where the next challenge comes in. Contestants were tasked with one of the most Santa challenges they could do, creating toys in a workshop. I mean, really, I guess it's the elves creating the toys. So Tommy's hyped, you know, that's cool. Their toys came out all right, I guess. But as it turns out, kids are tough critics.
Did you play with that toy at your house, Mike?
No way.
No way?
It's kind of boring. I don't like that.
This challenge was always going to be hard. Having kids be your judges is just going to be difficult, but they made it harder by making it a group challenge. The way that the teams failed to work together, specifically Amber and Brandon, it made it just extra difficult.
We like the basis of this one first. Should I do? No, nobody's listening. Cool. Where did the burlap go?
I don't know what your insistence is with burlap. How many of your kids' toys have burlap?
Every contestant is trying to maintain that joyful Christmas spirit because as soon as John broke that, he was eliminated. The challenges are kind of pushing and forcing them to be at each other's necks, which, to be fair, made the first few eliminations pretty easy. When there's a clear enemy, voting is simple. John was mocking everyone's care for being Santa, so they eliminated him. Brandon was hard to work with and rude to everyone, so they eliminated him. But as they got deeper in, anyone that was there for the wrong reasons was gone. Which means that now, everyone, no matter how Santa they are, is going to be at threat of elimination. The next challenge kind of takes a weird turn by having everyone chase goats around to grab the Christmas movies attached to their backs. After all the movies are collected, they have to be placed in the order that they were released. The red team chose Santa Carl to be their movie order placer because, well, he's old, and he should know this stuff. But as it would turn out, being old does not mean you know everything. And Carl didn't really know anything. He was only ever able to get one movie correct, and it was It's a Wonderful Life. You know that's going to be the oldest one, and he only got the oldest one. So, I mean, I guess that's worth something. Understandably, the people on his team were not very happy. Carl has been the weak link in every single challenge, so much so that people were discussing whether or not they should eliminate him based on concerns for his health.
Having Carl as a co-competitor, I am legitimately concerned about his well-being at this altitude and with the activities that we've been doing.
My biggest concern is your health.
Carl knows what's going on. He can tell the vibes aren't right. I mean, they trusted Carl to win them immunity, and he couldn't pull through. Lucky for Carl, when gifts were dispersed at the start of the show, he got the Christmas miracle, meaning that if he played it right before elimination, he would be granted immunity. And of course, knowing the discussion around the group, he did that. Carl played his immunity idol and pretty much forced people to vote randomly and vote out D. Nothing all that noteworthy happens for a couple episodes. Santa Joy gives some monologue about the Christmas spirit as a last-minute attempt to save herself from elimination.
And if you don't sparkle inside, it doesn't matter what you do on the outside. And that's all I'm going to say.
Santa Tommy is finally eliminated for not being Santa. I mean, it took 5 episodes to eliminate the elf from the Santa competition. I don't know what to say. Oh, wait, no, actually, I lied. There is something cool that happens here. Most of the challenges are pretty lame. Like, they had one where they literally just ate milk and cookies. But they did a really cool challenge where they had to sneak into a house to deliver a present. If that's all it was, it'd be pretty easy. But the house is actually filled with laser tripwires. Also, they're being timed, and every time they touch a wire, it adds 30 seconds to their final time. Also, it's a team challenge, and one person has red glasses that make it so they can't see the red lasers, and one person has green glasses which make it so they can't see the green lasers, and so they have to communicate, and they're not good at it. The first couple groups to go were okay, I guess. They didn't really make that many mistakes, but the third group, Carl and Lauren on a team was so bad. Lauren kept stepping through a laser, and then instead of committing, accepting his defeat, and just stepping all the way through it, he would pull his foot back and then put it back through the laser. They ended up with 14 penalties. 7 minutes of their final time were because of this right here. He just kept going back and forth. I wish all the challenges were that cool, but they kind of aren't. After Tommy was eliminated, the whole young versus old thing really came back to the front of their minds.
We are at a great disadvantage, being only 2 youngins left, me and Steve, against 3 vintage Santas.
The competition started with 4 old and 6 young, so the young people really weren't all that worried. But now that most of the young contestants were eliminated, they were feeling the pressure. It started as 3-2 in favor of the young people, and now it's 3-2 in favor of the old people. And John Garburator, garbage disposal. John had a little surprise for them.
1, 2, 3.
And just like that, the whole balance of young versus old was just frisbeed into a volcano. With the show reintroducing D, the whole balance was thrown completely off. It was now 4-2. And after a quick little drama break where they had to wrap an excavator and then wrap one of the contestants, what is this challenge? Amber got to work. Her mission would be to get into the older Santa's head and turn them against each other.
I can't stand it anymore when I have to talk to Carl and I can't get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to get to Carl because we'd have none of this conversation between the two of us.
She wasn't working alone. Steve was also doing the same thing. Okay, Amber and Steve were trying to get in the heads of these guys. And after a long day's work, it was time for elimination.
Sorry, Santa Carl, but your luck has run out.
Indeed.
With Carl's elimination, the old guys still had an advantage, but with...
Now is probably a good time to let you guys know. Sometimes, even on Christmas dinner, we go for seconds. Another Santa is going home tonight. Final vote is for D. The Krampus giveth, and the Krampus taketh away.
D was also eliminated? Okay. It's now even. It's 2-2. So much for bringing D back into the competition. Just gonna vote him out the same episode. The table's even now. It is 2-2, and they are in the final 4. And the challenge they're doing to open up the final 4 is possibly the most important Santa challenge you can do. The final immunity challenge is being a mall Santa. If there was a challenge to weed out the less experienced Santas and favor the older ones, this is it. Paul and Lauren are both veteran mall Santas who have been able to go through hundreds of kids in a night.
I've been a Santa at SeaWorld for a long time. 6,000 kids on my knee last Christmas. I mean, 6,000 kids. Whoa.
Amber and Steve just don't have the same experience. The only people they're used to being Santa for is family members, so they know they gotta put up a fight. Lauren and Paul are both Santa. I mean, it's clear that this is what they've done for years. For what it's worth, Amber did pretty well, but it doesn't really matter because when the kids are walking up, this is what they expect to see.
How old are you, Thomas?
5.
Are you in kindergarten?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Steve didn't really try to be Santa, which is probably one of the best things he could have done. Instead of playing a character, he was just Steve the firefighter.
Give me 5.
Ah,
you're fast.
After the kids had gone through, the twist for the challenge was revealed. They were now going to be shown a picture of one of the kids that went through, and they would have to say their name and the present that they asked for. As it turns out, experience as a mall Santa wasn't what they needed. Paul and Lauren just speed ran the challenge and were like, hey, we're good. You know, I've done this for years. This is easy.
What is this child's name?
I try to think back, but you know, if I had an idea that remembering the names and gifts might be the challenge, I think I probably would have paid more attention. I didn't catch the name.
What is this child's name?
That's Madison. What's your name?
And what did she want for Christmas?
She wanted a stuffed doll. A pony?
I mean, they're good at this. They're used to trying to get kids through as fast as possible. Being a mall Santa for hundreds or even thousands of kids has gotten them in the rhythm of just, oh, hey, what's your name? Cool, what do you want? All right, get out of here. You're on a timer. You got to get the kids through. Sometimes you just got to put your foot on their forehead and push them down the slide. Steve and Amber, they've got this in the bag.
Oh, I think his name is Tommy. What's your name?
Thomas.
Do you remember what this child wanted for Christmas?
He's the one that wants the soccer ball.
Soccer ball.
Do you remember this child's name?
It's Grant.
Do you remember what Grant wanted for Christmas?
An action figure.
Ooh. Treating the kids like family is what they do. Steve ended up performing slightly better than Amber, and he won the final immunity, which kind of left Amber as the odd man out. And, well, Paul and Lauren aren't going to vote for each other. I mean, they're this late in. They got to preserve that old guy Santa energy. So, Amber was eliminated. And the final 3 were Paul, Lauren, and Steve. A committee made up of every Santa that had been eliminated before was formed to vote for who they think the final 2 Santas should be.
It looks like our final 2 Santas are Santa Paul and Santa Lauren. Santa Steven, I'm sorry to say, but you've been eliminated from the competition.
It only makes sense that the final 2 would be bearded Santas. It never really mattered how hard any of the younger Santas tried. It was always going to be a vintage Santa that took the crown. I mean, the producers rigged the game to give an advantage back to the old Santas. Like, it's clear that this is how they wanted it to end up. And the final challenge to determine which Santa is the best Santa, the greatest Santa in America, is 10 trivia questions that they don't know the answers to. Okay, it's been a while since these guys air dusted the inside of their brain. They got a lot of stuff in there. Their hard drive is full. What do you think they're gonna remember this random tidbit from episode 3? They both just randomly picked answers until eventually if I had to place a bet on who I thought was going to win at the start of the show, it would have been between Paul and D. Of course, things didn't really work out for D, but hey, Paul won the whole thing. I'm not saying you guys should, like, give me credit. You know, I didn't, like, write it down anywhere, but, you know, I'm kind of a baby genius. This show had its strange spots, but I think that's fine. It's not like this is the first corny reality show that has ever been made. And for what it's worth, it's not that bad. But there was just never a second season. The show ended with the first season in 2015, and nothing ever came out. If they were to ever do another one, hey, I would love to be invited. I'm Santa. I'm basically Santa. Speaking of, I got some Santa stuff to do. I gotta get suited back up, because, you know, I gotta go back out. I'm gonna be gone for a little bit. I'm just gonna go pick something up from the store. While I'm gone, you should watch this video. In it, I try to become a world record speedrunner, and I think it's a really great video. It would work as a great Christmas gift to you. Merry Christmas. I love you. Here's your Christmas gift. You're welcome. See you guys. I'm still standing over here.